Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about M3gan, the latest AI-based horror film about a little girl who gets a robot friend who's really more like a replacement mommy from her aunt. And the robot friend turns into a killer, a la Chucky, or something like that.
Yeah, actually, what I was going to say is this is the greatest remake of Deadly Friend that could possibly exist. Well, didn't have a head explosion.
It didn't have a head explosion.
But
it's true.
As far as the premise is concerned, it's a really good version of Deadly Friend.
Yeah, well, honestly, that's like the only real criticism I have of this movie is I really want to see the R-rated cut that they cut down to make this movie.
Yeah, the thing is that I didn't realize it was a PG-13 movie until there were a few kills we didn't see, and I was like, wait, is this PG-13?
Yeah, it's one of those, I had forgotten that it was PG-13 while we were watching it, which is a testament to how good the movie is.
Yeah, definitely.
But after having seen it, I do want to see, because, the writer has said that there is an R-rated version with more grisly kills somewhere out there, or at least
dude.
an unrated version.
Oh, well, that's the one you definitely want to see, because, that's the only thing it's really missing.
That's the only thing, yeah.
It's one really good, splatter moment. Yeah. Perfect.
Despite that, this movie's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's like the Ring remake in that the PG-13 does not cause it any real problems.
No, it doesn't get in the way of anything. If anything, adding more gore to this movie would just enhance what's already there.
Exactly. Yeah, this is already an A. Gore would just make it an A+.
For those of you who don't know, this movie was directed by the director of Housebound and written by the writer of Malignant, which you can fucking tell, because much like Malignant, it goes apeshit at a certain point.
Well, much like Malignant, there are some times when, the monster gets goofy.
And much like Housebound, this movie is just really funny throughout.
Yes.
I didn't realize how much of a horror comedy it actually is until you start watching it. But it's one that, much like Housebound, has a really great balance between the comedy and the more, dramatic moments.
Yes.
Everything with the little girl and, the trauma of losing her mom, that's all handled pretty straight.
Yeah, that's all done really well.
Just like how the main character in Housebound, her struggle is handled pretty straight, but there's all these funny moments around it, right?
Yeah.
In this case, it's everything M3gan does is simultaneously funny and creepy.
Yeah. Almost all the comic relief comes from M3gan herself.
Yes. And she also just has so many I don't know what else to call them other than you go girl moments.
Well, she's a huge amount of personality.
Yeah.
And there's a reason we don't just kill people that really, really, really upset us.
Yeah.
But let's not pretend that it doesn't cross our minds.
Well, exactly.
And that's where M3gan lives.
Every time a character does something really shitty or acts like a bitchy Karen or whatever, and then she gives that person the side eye, there's a moment where you're like, oh shit, you've done it now.
No, you've done it now.
You've done it now. And then when she goes and she kills them in some grisly way, it's still PG-13, but the deaths are obviously she mangles some of these people.
Yeah. God, I love those moments where she gives characters the side eye, because she's completely silent, but you can hear the bitch. I know you did not just say that.
And so when she kills them, it's you go girl.
Yeah. You're really into it when she kills people.
But you also really care about the little girl. So when things start to turn for her, like it does in Child's Play, when Chucky is no longer your best friend and is now trying to kill you.
Yeah, now he's Charles Lee Ray.
You actually do care about her, so you are worried for her, and you go from rooting for M3gan to being no, M3gan, don't do it. It feels like a cross between the Child's Play remake and the original Child's Play, because
it does.
It's got that AI element, that robot friend element from the Child's Play remake, but by the end of the movie, this M3gan is way more like Chucky from the original movie.
Yeah.
Like, she's just straight up, like, calling people bitch and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
you're a bitch. I don't like you.
Yeah.
You could tell that there was a lot of inspiration from the Twilight Zone episode Talking Tina.
Yeah.
My name's Talking Tina, and I think I could hate you.
Absolutely. There's definitely a lot of Talking Tina in this.
Yeah.
A lot of Deadly Friend, a lot of Child's Play, and it's all mixed together in a really fun package.
Oh, yeah. I would love to, I'd love to see, M3gan versus Chucky. That'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah. And I'd be fine with either version of Chucky fighting her either.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's remake Chucky, in which they're on the same playing field, or whether it's normal Chucky, and he's got his army of Chuckies.
Yeah. Well, I think I would prefer Chucky series Chucky.
Sure.
Because then that's magic versus technology.
Oh, yeah. And then you got, like,
you got a lot to do there, you know?
That'd be fun. Plus, like, the banter would be amazing.
Yeah.
And yes, if you've seen the viral TikTok moment from the movie, the M3gan dance, it is just as glorious when you see it in context as it is when you see it online. And it's also just as random.
Yeah, it's just as random, but they kind of they worked it in because M3gan keeps singing pop song lyrics as lullabies.
Yes.
And so you're like, well, she knows who Britney Spears is.
Yeah. And there's that montage where she's dancing with the girl, so she obviously learned to dance. And stuff. I would love to see an extended cut of the movie that includes the more graphic scenes and maybe some of those scenes of her learning to dance, but that's just minor. That's
maybe this is the franchise where I'll finally get my mass slaughter to ABBA's Dancing Queen.
Maybe.
It
would fit.
It would totally fit. Yeah.
So this movie gets a 2 thumbs up from me. It is currently available on video on demand or in theaters. You have either choice, so go see it and pick your poison. And let's move on to the spoilers. Actually, before we move on to the spoilers, there is a dog. He does die. So
yes. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, be warned.
Just be warned. And now that I've said that, let's move on to the spoilers.
Yeah, it's not a very graphic kill, but it definitely, that dog is dead.
Yeah, that dog is dead. That dog is dead. It is a sad moment. It is no, M3gan, don't do it. But at the same time, dog bit the girl, so.
Well, yeah, like I said, you get it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'd rather you didn't kill the dog, but the dog did attack the little girl, bit the shit out of her arm.
Yep.
You still feel a little bad.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So,
but, you gotta have a moment like that.
So, basically, the crux of this movie is a little girl, her parents die in a car accident, and she is left to live with her aunt, and the aunt is a robotics engineer at a toy company, and is building this new all-around toy that is basically this doll that is human-sized, or at least little girl-sized, named M3gan. She can tuck you in at bed at night, she can read you stories, she can do everything you would want a toy or a parent or a friend to do.
And that already moves into a whole weird area that a lot of the characters in the movie bring up.
And that's actually something that was touched upon in the trailer, but I didn't realize was going to be expanded upon as much in the movie. This whole aspect of M3gan as a trauma coping tool for the girl.
It's a metaphor for letting technology raise your children.
Yeah, exactly. Where instead of actually sitting down and being a parent, you're just sitting them in front of the TV or on their phone and allowing that to do all your parenting for you.
Yeah, because the aunt is...
It's for most of the movie, she came across as just straight up sociopathic, but she can't be purely sociopathic because by the end of the movie, she clearly does care for the girl and care for her actions. So it's more like she's so obsessed with her career and this robot that she just has no time and patience for the little girl.
Yeah, but she also doesn't show a lot of emotion until the end.
That's true.
Until the end. Maybe she is a psychopath.
Well, for most of the movie, I was worried she was just straight up oh, she's just a straight up sociopath, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Trying to
you're raising it. You're taking care of a kid. Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, you can't be empathetic and you don't care about your actions. It's just that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, where it becomes more obvious by the end of it that she's mainly avoidant.
She links M3gan to the girl, first off, to further her career because she needs a child subject in order to, like, demonstrate the toy to her higher-ups so that they can approve the project. But also as, like, a trauma coping tool for the girl. It's like, oh, here's a friend. She'll distract you and help you get through the death of your mother. But what the daughter really needs is her aunt to be her aunt.
A person. Yeah, she needs a human being. Yeah.
To be there, to talk to her, to actually, like, work through these emotions. And that's, like, what a huge chunk of this movie is the little girl and M3gan getting so bonded to one another that it's actually kind of scary and dangerous.
Yeah.
To where, like, the girl needs M3gan so much that she cannot cope with anything without M3gan.
Yeah, and the problem is M3gan isn't human. Codependent?
Yeah, there's like a codependent.
Yeah, there's a big codependency between the two.
Condition going on here. And to make matters worse, M3gan is slowly becoming more self-sufficient, like separating herself from her protocols and any of the restrictions she had.
Yeah.
Doing it herself because she's learning. She's a self-learning AI, basically as a shortcut around having to teach M3gan to do things they want to do. They just designed M3gan to learn.
Yeah.
But that also means that M3gan learns things they don't want her to learn. And eventually becomes, a crazed serial killer by the end of it.
Let's kill a robot. Some people deserve it. Some people a little less so.
Yeah. With, like, the overall goal of wanting to be a mother to this girl, to the point where she's got to remove all the competition, including the
aunt.
Including the aunt. And the major spoilers for this are basically, like, the kills and stuff. Like, there's a bully in the woods that she rips the ear off and then, like, chases until he runs into a car.
Chases him in front of a car so he gets killed.
There's the Karen next door whose dog bites the little girl, so she kills the dog, and then she, like, sprays pesticide on, like, the woman's face.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's, like, an unrated version of that kill where you see her face melt or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because that would be the moment.
That was the kill where I was just like, there's a more gruesome version of this, isn't there? Like, come on. Let me see it.
They built that one up so long.
Yeah.
The Karen has marked for death on her for so long. You're like, this is gonna be something.
The Karen and the aunt both have really solid points in their arguments with one another.
Yes.
Where it's just like, keep your dog off my property. Fix the fence so the dog can't go on it. Like,
Yeah. And but they're both doing the same thing, which is avoiding taking responsibility.
Not my problem.
Not my problem, And whereas I find myself going like, well, if it's a hole in your fence, then there's a hole in my fence.
I would have just plugged the hole.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was my dog, like, or not my dog, I would have still plugged the hole.
Well, yeah, because I don't want my dog running into like their yard. Like, that's a problem.
Nope. But this goes back to, like, her being super tunnel visioned with her job and stuff and not paying attention to anything else she needs to. And the whole movie kind of builds up to this point where they're supposed to be, like, going national with the toy. Yeah. Like, this is going to be the launch of the toy. Spoilers, they do not make it to the actual launch because M3gan kills the CEO of the company. And that's where the dance fucking thing happens. And tries to kill the other co-workers who helped make M3gan, but by the end of the movie, it turns out they survive.
Yeah.
And ends up trying to cripple the aunt so the aunt is codependent on her too.
Yeah.
So that they'll keep her around and they'll keep this facade of this happy family, but she'll secretly be the mother and the aunt is just the face. This leads into a very explosive climax where literally the little girl is like using one of the other robots that the aunt made as like a Rock'em Sock'em robot, basically.
Yeah.
She puts the gloves on and controls the robot and is fighting M3gan.
Yeah, there's a big Rock'em Sock'em robot moment in this fucking thing.
It's pretty fucking awesome. Like much like Malignant, this movie has some legit action sequences that are really fun.
Yeah, this movie's totally worth it.
It is.
It's, believe the hype.
100%. Believe the M3gan hype. It is a fun ride of a movie.
Yeah, I was really worried about this one going in because it's like, it's got a really good trailer, but it's a January release.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's like I had seen this premise with Child's Play. Is it going to do anything unique with it, or is it just going to do the same thing as the Child's Play remake?
Right.
And it does do a lot of things unique, even though there's a lot of parallels between the two movies. And it's a January release, so
yeah,
like
so you
they
never
can
know
be
about
shaky.
that,
They like to dump movies in January they have no faith in, and so that's a risk. But at the same time, horror is one of the few genres that sometimes shines in January.
Yeah,
so.
because just because a bunch of people in a focus group don't like it doesn't mean the audience, there's not a large
doesn't
audience.
mean there isn't an audience for it somewhere.
Horror tends to break the rules that
exactly way. But the other thing was that it became such a viral TikTok sensation, and there was all those reports that it was being cut down to PG-13. Like that is a recipe.
That's a recipe for disaster.
That's a recipe for disaster. So it is actually it's a huge pleasant surprise to sit down and watch the movie and people weren't just loving this movie ironically. It's actually fun.
It's actually really fun.
It's actually really fun. This is not because I know it was memed to death online, so it's very easy to go is this another Morbius?
Yeah.
Is this is this a movie people are memeing, but it's not actually very good? No, this movie's actually really good. It lives up to the hype. So check it out.
Yeah, you definitely check this out. And you could definitely see how they're apparently already in pre-production for M3gan 2.0.
Oh yeah.
We could just go buck wild.
You can go insane. Plus, M3gan, they don't do it as much in this movie as they did in the Child's Play remake, but I imagine, much like the Child's Play remake, she's going to be able to control various things with her. Her internet link.
She controls phones throughout the entire movie.
She does.
You know,
there's points where she just straight up pretends to be people on the phone.
Yeah.
And it makes sense in this movie that she could do that.
Yeah.
Because we watch her record people's voices and analyze it and then AI recreate their voice.
Yeah. It works where the
Scream 3 where she just has that voice changer that can now change to anyone's voice and you're like, what? No, that's just magic. That's just magic. Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Well, you can usually find me on Twitch at Count_Jackula, where I stream most days, usually around 6 p.m., sometimes at midnight.
Dang, at midnight.
Yeah, where I am a variety streamer that discusses horror and occasionally plays horror video games or other video games that I just happen to like Cyberpunk or currently Darktide, because I have to destroy things for the Emperor. You can follow me on Twitter at CountingJack and on Instagram at Satanic Jackula.
Sounds good.
What about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and Facebook. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag #SlayM3gan_Slay. Use the hashtag #SlayM3gan_Slay, that way I know. That way Jack knows. That way the whole world knows you watched this vlog all the way through. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, we're going to record one more vlog, and we're going to start pumping some vlogs out. Peace.